guys, it felt kind of weird not including the Castlevania games in the previous tribute to horror games I did. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to show you my Castlevania collection, video game and computer game collection I have. First we're going to start with the original NES. I've got a loose copy of Castlevania, the original. An amazing game, very hard, and haven't beat it yet, hope to someday beat it. Next is Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, loose copy. I have completed this one. It's got a lot of RPG elements in this one. And last is Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Definitely my favorite NES Castlevania game. Alright, next are going to be my Super Nintendo games. I've got both Castlevania games for that. First is probably the most expensive game I have in my collection for Castlevania. That is Dracula X for Super Nintendo. Fortunately, there's a little damage on it. Doesn't matter though, because it's really cool to have this in my collection. Someday I wouldn't mind getting complete and boxed copies of all these games that are loose, but for now, I'm very happy with what I got. And the last Super Nintendo game, I've got a boxed copy of Super Castlevania 4. Originally, didn't like this game for some reason. I don't know why, but the more I've played it, it's really it's grown on me, and I do agree it's probably one of the better Castlevania games. Next, I've got a loose copy of Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis. Another really cool game. Alright, now I'm going to show you my two original Game Boy games for Castlevania. First we've got a loose copy of Castlevania Adventure. Not a bad game. It's probably one of the least favorite games in the Castlevania series. And I also have Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, which is a little bit better game. Alright, next let's go to the PlayStation. I have probably my favorite game of all the Castlevania games, that is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is probably one of my top 10 games of all time, to be honest. I just absolutely love this game. It's got a lot of RPG elements where your characters level, you got multiple characters you can play. Very, very cool game. And I also have Castlevania Chronicles, which is a remake or like port of an old original Castlevania game that was never released in America. Probably one of my favorite games in my collection is I've got a import for the Sega Saturn that is also Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Really happy to have this one in my collection. And since I'm an old fart, this one I actually bought this original back in either a Babbage or Software Etc. when it came out new. Alright, next we've got the PSP Castlevania, the Dracula X Chronicles. This is Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, which originally came out for the TurboGrafx 16. It's another game I'd love to have, but I do not have it in my collection. Alright, next are going to be my 3 Game Boy Advance games. I've got them all in boxes that I've made, or covers that I've made for the DS covers that had Game Boy Advance slots in them. This is Circle of the Moon. This one doesn't have the manual, but Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. This one does have the manual. And Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. I also have the manual for this one as well. Alright, next will be my DS games. We've got Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. Haven't played these a lot, so I'm still kind of trying to finish some of the original Castlevania games before I move on to the DS. I hear these are really good though, because again the 2D games kind of like the original Castlevania games. Same thing with the Game Boy Advance games as well. This is Dawn of Sorrow. in order of Ecclesia. Alright, next I've got the the PS2 games. We have Castlevania Lament of Innocence. And Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Never really been a big fan of the 3D Castlevania games, but I hear these aren't too bad. Next, I have the only Castlevania game that was released on the Wii. It's a fighting game. I hear it's not that great. Never had a chance to play it yet. This is Castlevania Judgment. I actually picked this up for vacation where me and a few friends were going to go on vacation, and we never actually took it out to play it. Next is the 360 game, the only one that I have. I have the Castlevania Lords of Shadow. It is the limited edition copy. I just found it used at GameStop, same price as the other copy of it, so I picked this one up. The only thing that unfortunately that it is missing the soundtrack. Alright, the last two things I have in my Castlevania collection are kind of obscure. The first one is, I really wished I had the box and manual for this, because this would probably be my most expensive Castlevania game other than Dracula X if I had it complete, but I don't. That is Castlevania for the Commodore 64. Not a great game. I think this is probably better than the PC. The PC version is just horrible. So, the last game, let me go get it. It's still in my PC over there, and let me show you what it is. That is, it's a combo pack. It was released on the PC back in 2002. That is Castlevania and Contra for the PC. It actually includes Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 from the original NES. It also includes Contra and Super C from the original NES as well, which is kind of neat. I just installed it. I haven't played it in a long time. It's probably emulated, even though it's, it comes from Konami. This is an actual real release. The graphics on my Windows 7 machine are kind of small, and it definitely looks like it's some kind of Nintendo emulator, but still, other than that, it's not too bad. Unfortunately, I didn't see any way to be able to control it with a joystick. I've only been able to see control it with the keyboard, but again, it sounds and looks pretty decent. Alright guys, that is my Castlevania collection. I greatly appreciate you watching. Let me know down below some games that I might be missing in my collection that you think I should pick up. Thanks again, guys.